Hey everyone, this is Stephanie with Erin Photography, and I wanted to cover a topic that a lot of you guys messaged me with, and honestly, it was one of those things that I struggled with when I first started photography. We are going to talk about color space, okay? Have you ever uploaded an image, that you have worked either in Lightroom or Photoshop onto Facebook only to find that it is dull and ugly and grayed out? Well, that is because you are having a color space issue. So let's go ahead and go over some of the basics of color space, like what it is, and just kind of get you a little bit more educated so that you can make a better decision on what you want to work in, whether it is sRGB, Adobe RGB, or ProPhoto RGB. I recommend you begin in sRGB only because it's a basic. It's something that's easy to work with, even though it is smaller. So let me tell you a little bit about what sRGB is. Okay, so sRGB is the smallest one of those three. It has less colors, but it is like the standard for web use. All apps and websites will use sRGB. So whenever you are saving like for Facebook, Instagram, or your website, you will always want to export it into sRGB if you are working from ProPhoto or Adobe RGB. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. This is just an image from last year, actually, and I am going to show you my process of opening an image and editing it. I know a lot of you know that I don't use Lightroom. I have Lightroom Classic on my computer, just to teach from kind of thing, but I don't ever really use it. Anyways, so I open up Bridge and I pull up the images that I want. I rate them, I call right in here, and then I will open it into ACR. This is where you want to see what color space you are working in, okay? You can click on it and it'll bring it up right here. See where it says color space? Choose the color space that you want to work in. Again, I recommend working in sRGB as a beginner until you learn and are down with the, when you are able to comprehend how to use like ProPhoto, okay? sRGB is just easy because you can save it right after you're done editing it in Photoshop. It's easy to convert to 16-bit and then back to 8-bit to get rid of banding if you need to, but that's a little bit more advanced. So let's keep it at sRGB until we are at the next level in your Photoshop education, okay? So just make sure that you are in sRGB, and quite honestly, it does not matter what you are shooting in camera, like what color space you have your camera onto. If you are shooting raw, this is where you are changing your color space, okay? This is where it will always begin. I actually edit in ProPhoto, but for all of this video and tutorial, I am going to teach you sRGB. When you master this, then we can talk about the rest, okay? So do your adjustments, whatever you're wanting to do, add your preset or whatever, okay? So now it is in Photoshop. Let's go ahead and go to Edit and go to Color Settings, okay? This working space item, this little category right here, let's talk about what this means, okay? This does not mean that Photoshop is changing your image into a color profile. Photoshop actually does not have its own it does not work in its own color profile. You can change it here through a different way, but this category just ensures that if you open up an image that does not have an assigned color space, that it will change it to sRGB for you. Okay, So, and this is where I leave everything. Whenever I am working in ProPhoto, though, I do ensure that I have these only because if I am adding, a texture or something that is not in ProPhoto, and you don't want to mix sRGB, layer and sRGB into a ProPhoto. But you won't have to worry about that until you get a little bit more advanced, okay? So just ensure that you have this here for any odd reason that you open up an image that does not have an assigned color space, okay? So that is that. If you are, let's say you opened up your image from ACR and you're in like Adobe or ProPhoto, okay, and you want to change it or convert it to sRGB, this is where you would basically go through and change it, okay? So you would click ProPhoto, Adobe, sRGB kind of thing, okay? This is where you would change it in Photoshop, okay? I'm not going to do anything because we are going to leave it in sRGB. So I would make my edits, basically do everything that I wanted to do, and I would save it for Facebook. That's where everybody kind of gets confused because you want to make sure that you are in sRGB when you are uploading to the web. You already are in sRGB if you have changed your color space in Adobe Camera Raw, okay? This is your color space, this is where you're setting it. This is the only setting you really need to worry about when editing your images. So when you do open it up into Photoshop, you are in the color space that you need to be, which is sRGB for now. So in order to save for Facebook, one, we need to know what size Facebook images or what Facebook wants the size of your image to be in order to have a beautiful, high quality image with all the sharpness that you would like and need to showcase your images. So when you do save, you'll want to save as a JPG or JPEG, okay? First, though, you have to resize your image. But if you are wanting to save your image as JPG or JPEG for your client in Photoshop, export it out and save it for your client, you can go straight ahead and do so without changing it, okay? So save your file, whatever you would like. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. And always have this up to the highest maximum value. Okay. I use Blog Stomp to resize my images. I love Blog Stomp because it adds my watermark and I know what I need my Facebook image size to be. I'm going to actually explain that to you and like where did I get this value? Why am I doing that at 978? Okay, so let's pull up Facebook. Oh, I didn't post that for you guys. I was getting ready to. But let's go to, let's just go to my page here. Okay, so pull up my business page. Let's save one of the photos that I uploaded this week. Oh, I'm not on posts. Okay, so let's just save this image. Go to options and download. Okay, so cute little Oliver. Go back to Bridge so that I can show you the metadata for this. Okay, downloads, where is Oliver? Right here. Okay, and metadata. Okay, so here is the size. So after downloading the image from Facebook, that this number proves to us that that is the number that we need to make sure our images are in order to have sharp, beautiful pictures on Facebook. So the longest edge needs to be 978. You can do this in Photoshop. I can show you that as well. So 978, that is the number that you need to have them at. So whenever I am resizing, I saved that one on the desktop. Okay. Blog it or stomp it. That's what they call it. Okay, so that literally, I'm done. That is resizing my image with my logo on it in Blog Stomp. In Photoshop, you'll go to Image, and really, you guys, it's so easy. You'll probably laugh because it's so easy. You'll go to image size. Okay, you'll have to know which is your longest side. Obviously, the number that is the highest is your longest side. So we're doing 978. Okay. Done. Image is resized. File, save as, only because this will be for web, so you don't want to save it for your client at this small, and you can type in web or whatever you need to. Ensure it's JPEG, hit save. Okay, still make sure that it's at the highest, and you can see here your size is significantly lower, so your upload speed will be so much faster as well. Okay, that is how you resize for Facebook or Instagram.